Hey guys, it's Megan, and in today's video, I'll be showing you a few easy DIYs that you can make with yarn. Personally, I have been loving the whole crochet trend that's been going around for the past year or two. But let's be real, some of us just do not have time for that. And if you do knit or crochet, you're bound to end up with some extra yarn. So here are a few projects that you can do with it.
One way that you can use extra yarn is to make plastic canvas projects. Plastic canvas is a flexible, lightweight grid material that you can use as a base for creating three-dimensional objects. You can get this at just about any craft store. It comes in a couple different sizes, but I use size 7 for this project. There are lots of things that you can make with this, like tissue box covers, handbags, and dollhouse furniture. But I decided to keep it simple with this earring holder. For this project, you'll need your plastic canvas, some yarn, a tapestry needle, and scissors. First, cut out 3 pieces of the plastic canvas. You'll need 2 pieces that are 28 by 44, and 1 piece that's 28 by 22 squares. Lay the plastic canvas pieces like this, with the smaller piece in the middle. Cut a piece of yarn, then thread your needle. To sew the plastic canvas pieces together, bring the yarn up through one of the holes, leaving a bit of a tail at the end. Bring the yarn up through one canvas piece, and down through the other. And you're basically going to repeat this the whole way across the row. Make sure that as you're sewing, you catch this little tail that we left inside of your stitches so that the end is hidden and secured. And when you get to the end of the row, keep stitching along one edge of the smaller canvas piece. And when you get to that end, stitch on the other big piece the same way that we did before. When you get to the end of this row, keep stitching along the 4th side of the small rectangle, and keep going up to the top of the large rectangle. To end the row, bring your needle underneath a few of the previous stitches and trim off the excess yarn. Then go ahead and stitch down the 3 remaining long sides of the rectangles the same way. Fold the plastic canvas up so that the edges of the long rectangles meet. And again, stitch the top together in the same way. And that's all there is to it. This is probably one of the easiest plastic canvas projects that you can make. You can store your earrings on both sides, and it works for both studs and dangly earrings. This next project is something that I've wanted to try for the longest time, which is making things with a punch needle. You can use punch needles for lots of different projects like rugs, coasters, bags, and really all kinds of stuff. But I decided to make a throw pillow. For this project, I used a punch needle, monk's cloth, this frame from a canvas that I cut the canvas off of, some yarn, fabric glue, a fabric marker, and a pillowcase. First, I attached the monk's cloth to my wood frame. I used a hot glue gun because that's what I had, but if you have a staple gun, that would work a lot better. Or if you have a big embroidery hoop, that would be the best option. But we made it work. I cut off the excess cloth, then found an image that I wanted to use as a template. I found this butterfly on Canva and enlarged it using a poster making website. Again, there are definitely better ways to do this, but we're working with what we got. So I taped the image to the back of the canvas, and I put this light behind it so that I could trace the image. If you don't have a light, you can try holding it up to a window, or you could use a light box or a projector. Okay, so right off the bat, this image is way too detailed for this type of project. Like I said, this was my first time making one of these, and yeah, definitely did not think that part through. Also, if you want to do any type of text, make sure that you flip it so that it's backwards. Go ahead and thread the punch needle. Mine came with this threader that you use to put the yarn through it. So you put the yarn through the threader, then put the threader through the handle of the punch needle, and then put it through the hole in the top of the punch needle. And now we're ready to start filling it in. So, yeah, full disclosure, this did not start out well. Initially, I was making the stitches way too far apart, and I was trying to do this super complicated design, and it was just not happening. And I also didn't realize that I was doing it wrong until I got to the bottom wings. And at this point, I was like, well, crap, okay, I guess this is how it's supposed to look. But the good news is I eventually figured it out, and it's easy enough to take out the yarn and start over. I still wanted the wings to have a little more detail, so I used some more white yarn in the light purple section to make sort of polka dots. And you'd think that this would be the end of it, but no. I ended up redoing the wings again, and I added some light purple dots to the top wings for a little more detail. But once I was finally happy with it, I covered the back of the punch needle piece with a crap ton of fabric glue. Don't be afraid to use too much because you want to make sure that the loops on the back stay put. I let that dry overnight, then carefully cut out the butterfly. I've seen people do this in a couple different ways, but I just cut as close to the edge of the yarn as possible. After that was cut out, I put some paper inside of my pillowcase to make sure that it wouldn't get stuck together, then used some more fabric glue to stick the butterfly to the front of the pillowcase. I used a pre-made pillowcase to save time, but you could definitely sew one if you wanted to. I let it dry overnight again, and here's how my finished pillowcase turned out. I am obsessed with this. I think these are so cute. I kind of feel like it needs something though. I don't know. I think it would look nice with some purple pom-poms or tassels around the edges. But I figured that I better not do that if I want to actually use this pillow, because I am 100% sure that my cats would just eat the pom-poms. But I'm really glad that I finally got to try using the punch needle. Another super easy thing that you can do with yarn is to glue it onto a canvas to create wall art. I did this more abstract design, but I've also seen people use the yarn to create more recognizable shapes. Besides the yarn, you'll need a canvas, some acrylic paint, Elmer's glue, and scissors. Start by painting your canvas in the color of your choice. I painted mine black. Let that dry, then sketch out your design with a pencil. I kept mine super simple and just did 2 squiggly lines. Then, just start gluing the yarn onto the canvas. I used Elmer's school glue for this. You could probably use hot glue too, but the Elmer's glue gives you a little bit more time to fix things if you mess it up. Plus, you're less likely to burn your fingers. I picked out 4 colors and just filled up the shapes by alternating them. I left a bit of a tail at either end of each piece of yarn, so it could be folded over the edge of the canvas later. This is really not a complicated process. You just put on some glue, then your yarn, and repeat that about 100 times until the whole shape's filled up. Again, there are so many different things that you could do with this. I saw this one where the person made it into a sun. I thought that was cute. Or you could use a needle to stitch the yarn onto the canvas. But once you've filled in the top of the canvas, go ahead and let the glue dry. Then glue the excess yarn down to the sides of the canvas. I used some more Elmer's glue for this, which worked fine, but I had one stubborn piece of yarn that I had to hot glue. After the sides dry, trim off the excess yarn, and you're all set. I actually really like how this turned out. It's something different that you might not normally think of, and it's simple enough that anyone can do it.
So those are all the crafts that I had time to make this week, but I've made a bunch of other yarn crafts in other videos. I actually used yarn a lot when I was redoing my bedroom last year. One thing I made was this tassel garland to go above my bed. I really like the look of the yarn with the wood beads, but there are so many other wall hang tutorials out there that you can find. I also used yarn for this little rainbow decoration that I made for my gallery wall. For this one, I got some rope, and I pretty much just wrapped the rope with yarn, and I put some wire on the back to help it hold its shape. Like I said, there's a video. And I also used it to tie back my curtains. I made these ones to match the wall hanging that I made. Another way that you can use yarn is to update an old basket. You can pretty much always find these types of baskets at thrift stores. I added mini tassels to go with my theme, but you can also do pom-poms, or you could do a little design. You could kind of cross stitch a design into it. And I've also used yarn to make cat toys. These were actually a huge hit. My cats love them. I'm still finding these everywhere. All it is a styrofoam ball that I dipped into some non-toxic glue, rolled it in catnip, and then rolled yarn around it. I'll make sure to link to all these projects and any other ones that I can think of in the description. So yeah, that was everything for this video. Make sure to let me know which project was your favorite, and let me know if you've made anything with yarn lately. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos just like this one. My merch, my website, and all my social media will be linked down below. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys later. Bye!